Dr. Marks, we spoke over the phone back on August 10th of 2021, and I was asking about VAERS because I had lots of constituents reaching out to me saying there was tons of adverse effects, there was thousands of deaths, et cetera, and they were very concerned. And I asked how many were confirmed. And at that time, you said 4. There were 4 cases that you confirmed deaths of that were caused by the vaccine. And I suggested at the time that the CDC and FDA do a better job of telling the public not just how many cases were reported, but how many were actually confirmed. And just, if I heard you right, just recently you said, well, we don't want to give out too much information because of privacy rights. But certainly we could put out how many were confirmed deaths, couldn't we?
Congresswoman, thank you so much for that question. I fully agree with you that we probably have not done a good enough job of communicating sometimes the actual numbers of deaths versus what's in VAERS. In fact, we just nearly fell prey to it here at this hearing. There are only handfuls, and I'll ask Dr. Jernigan to comment on this as well, handfuls that we can actually associate with the actual
Can I ask
vaccine.
why you haven't done it? I mean, this was August of 2021. It seems very logical to me that if you're saying people, the public shouldn't count on VAERS because anybody can report to that, which they can, why wouldn't you as actively report to the public, well, we confirmed this really low number of cases that actually were caused by vaccines? I mean, it's been years now. Why haven't you done it?
We did present that in various settings, including at, I believe, at the Advisory Committee of Immunization Practices. It was mentioned at our vaccine advisory committee. It perhaps did not go as broadly.
Is there an easy place for the public to find this? I remember you gave us some kind of link back in 2021, but it was really difficult to get to, if I remember right. And so why not spend the time, like making, if the goal is to give confidence to people in getting vaccines, why in the world would you just not say, okay, what we have done is we've investigated these deaths, we've done this, we've done that, and we've only found, you know, a handful. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me, but I want to continue. I'm sorry, I have only a short period of time. One of my former constituents, and I think I talked to you about this, Dr. Marks, from Surprise, Arizona, Steve Wenger, worked for a company that forced him, mandated him to receive the COVID vaccine in May of 2021. He got the J&J vaccine. Within a month of receiving the vaccine, he was in the hospital paralyzed from his neck down. He spent over 3 months in the hospital and was eventually diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome. And actually, the doctor has said right on his medical stuff that it was most likely caused from the vaccine. Steve continues to struggle with his injuries today, all because he was forced to take an experimental vaccine at the urging of the health agencies. Mr. Wenger's injury was also reported to VAERS, and he filed a claim with CICP about 2 years ago, he said, and has not heard back at all. He said not even a form letter. So I want you to know that, Commander, so that maybe my office can give you his name so you can at least respond that you got the claim from 2 years ago. Also, there was a New York man who suffered from HLH after his COVID vaccine. His initial report was classified as life-threatening. His second report, filed after his death, was classified as hospitalized. The family called to request a correction to the second report to be a fatality and was instructed to file another report and was then sent a form condolence letter from the CDC. And the fatality was in May of 2021. The form letter was received in December 2022. The family subsequently sent an automated message at the end of 2023 to update their VAERS report on his condition. He is dead, they said. The family has been very distressed by the lack of proper investigation done and classification that he's actually died. And so all I'm saying, I've run out of time, is that, as you have said, you've increased the number, Commander, from 4 personnel to, I think you said 35. Obviously, more work needs to be done if people haven't been, the person died and it still says they're hospitalized. I mean, this is a huge problem. And with that, I yield back.